everyone. Happy Earth Day, and what better way to celebrate than here at the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Gardens? We have a very special tour guide with us today. We have Fritz Ledke, and he is going to give us a whirlwind tour of these beautiful gardens, just to give you a sneak peek of what's available for you to see if you do decide to come here. Now, you can visit, and they have ticket reservation times. If you go onto their website, you can select the day and time you would like to come. And of course, masks are required while you're at the gardens. But they are in full swing and beautiful, and we can't wait to share that with you today. So, you got me still? I don't hear me. There we
We
go.
got you, Zoe. We
Okay,
got you.
sorry about that. All right, well, we're going to turn it over to Fritz. Fritz is our man, and he is going to give us this tour.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome to the Dallas Arboretum. You're catching us on a very kind of cool spring afternoon. We're going to do about a 45-minute tour around the plants, some of the major features of the Arboretum. We're starting our tour in a place called A Tasteful Place. It was built just 4 years ago, 2017, and it has everything to do with food, with healthy, nutritious eating. Everything you see is a fruit, a vegetable, or a herb. Not only just cooking, growing vegetable, growing food rather, but they have cooking exhibitions inside, cooking lessons. They have chefs visit from great restaurants in Dallas as well as around the country to give cooking exhibitions. They have mother and daughter pie baking contests. It's all oriented around food and healthy eating. I see that Greg is giving you kind of a wide field. It's 3.5 acres. And as I said, they have a little hors d'oeuvre bar over in the corner there, which you probably won't be able to see, but every day they serve concoctions from the garden, get little samples. So it's kind of fun. We're going to mosey on along now, and I'm going to get back here in place.
So one thing you were telling me, Fritz, is even the flowers that you saw in this area are edible, correct?
That's correct. You see pansies here, which I occasionally would put a pansy in my salad, but there's some cultures given tourists who say, "Oh no, that's we use that as a base. That's our lettuce." Now these are begonias, which I assume are not edible, but because we're getting out of a Tasteful Place area, and we're going to mosey very casually down to the start of what's called the Johnson Color Garden. I want to point out, sadly, on the left here are some azaleas. I hate to be pessimistic, but they took the brunt of the ice storm we had. These would you'll see some that have come back rather well, but there's several like this azalea trees that have really had a little trouble recovering from that freeze we had in February in Dallas.
So I have to ask, as we're walking along, how did the gardens fare after that freeze?
Well, we rebounded somewhat. It was a hard freeze, so we lost a lot of palms, a lot of succulents. That's jades and whatnot. As I mentioned, the azaleas, which we're replanting here, and you come back in a month and they'll be full blossom. But they also took a hit. But we got 600 horticulturists who work here round the clock to repair things and replant things. Hey, on our right here is the Palmer ferndale. It's very much like a Japanese garden in that there's a babbling brook, which we'll soon see. You can see some of these areas, and it's a very popular spot, particularly in the summer because it's about 10 degrees cooler down there. But it's a brook, and just people go down there to read their papers and have a cup of coffee in the morning, and artists kind of congregate there to paint the different features. You start to see some of these Japanese maples, which are now in full bloom.
Right here.
We'll be going to a Japanese maple feature a little later on. Mm-hmm. But again, we're going to go this way, and again, you get an idea of the extent and the beauty of the Palmer ferndale. we're going to revisit the tasteful place. I want to point out here, this is the biggest fountain at the Dallas Arboretum. It might be hidden by the trees, but it's a gift from Three Sisters Catering, and it lights up at night, and it's just a beautiful view with obviously White Rock Lake in the background there, and that runs around the clock, and it's the back part of the tasteful place.
I see a ginkgo. I actually know what that tree is.
Yeah, I know maybe about 5 different trees here. Excuse me. And again, you see just because for strolling through here, the lush greenery and relaxing and listening to the water flow. This is a very popular spot.
That's a
Hey, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Moving a little fast. The camera is not keeping up with the amount of movement.
I do have to.
Greg, we need to slow down a little bit. Okay. Dan says they're having trouble keep up with the movement.
Okay. Well,
yeah, we're going way fast. Okay, thanks.
We're approaching the Johnson Color Garden. It's 9 acres. Mr. Johnson dedicated to his wife. He was he was a mayor of Dallas, but he also started a little company called Texas Instruments. So he's been he was a very generous benefactor of the Dallas Arboretum. Now I got to apologize. Usually this is lush green, but they're holding Saturday and Sunday an arts and crafts festival where over 85 different artists will come and bring their paintings, their crafts, their jewelry, anything they work on. It's really kind of really fun. Great doing some early Christmas shopping.
Yeah, and I've heard that those are artisans from all over the country.
Yeah, it's not just Dallas's art. I find it very interesting. I'll be here for sure, and it's you'll find you'll fall in love with a little pillow that someone has knitted, or there's always like little items that you fall in love with immediately. But that again, I apologize for the tents there. Those will be gone on Monday, but that's after our yearly arts and crafts festival. Greg, I'm sure you can see these little benches here, sitting in the shade and with the brook going on in the background. There really is, it's really just a very peaceful place here. So very popular in that regard.
This would be a great area to bring my picnic lunch, right?
Yes, it would. In fact, it's the most popular area. It's where people put down their blankets and they have their sandwiches. Something we have to remind our patrons of is no frisbees, no baseballs, nothing thrown in the air. I hate to be a party pooper, but it's people, you don't want anyone injured from a flying object. So
right.
Here we have some more azaleas that are trying their darndest to get back on their heels. And they keep the function of the arboretum is to have year-round color. That is the people just always associate with just a lot of pretty flowers, but there are 3 things the Arboretum has cited as priorities. The first one is to have year-round color. The second one is to have education. We hold ongoing classes for kids, for professionals, master gardeners on gardening and the benefits thereof. And the third one is conservation. Everything at the Dallas Arboretum is reused. There's a huge emphasis on water-wise gardening. All these sources being little planting trays are all reused. You're going to start seeing some waterfalls here soon. All that water is recirculated and cleaned. The water does not flow into White Rock Lake. There's a huge emphasis on educating people to use resources conservatively. This is my pal William Shakespeare.
Yeah, this is such a neat piece. I love the crown for King Lear, Hamlet, the skull,
Ramon Juliet on the back, and there's Much Ado About Nothing. There's Cain and Abel, and like I said, there's supposedly 8 or 9 different Shakespearean plays there. But it's a very popular.
That looks like Pan from A Midsummer's Night's Dream.
It could be. You see Romeo and Juliet on the back, and it's kind of fun.
Let me go look up.
Okay. Just a reminder that we do hold ongoing art exhibitions here. This was a bronze sculpture made by Gary Lee Price. It was called Great Minds, and there was William Shakespeare, there was Albert Einstein, there was Ben Franklin, there were the Wright brothers, placed all around and exhibited. A patron bought that for us and placed it here in the Johnson Color Garden. Very, very generous benefactor.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now, real quick, I have a question.
all right.
And you may or may not know the answer to it, but someone asked me the other day in Zoom, what does it take to become a master gardener?
It's a lengthy program. It is a number of courses, a number of tests. We're going to on the left here. And I've never really looked into it. I have very many friends who've done it, but it's very rigorous with high standards. And importantly, you have to, as part of being a master gardener, to retain that title, you have to put in community hours. So we have master gardeners come out here, and they'll have to work 4 or 5 hours a month and helping us with the garden and consulting with us. But you have to be an active supporter of your community to maintain your master gardener status, which I think is worthy. It's very nice
really
thing.
neat. Oh, the purple, guys, you know
Those are
that.
violas. Hey, that's one of the few that I know about. We're gonna visit this later on, but like in the background there, that's the pergola from the DeGolyer Mansion. That is a very popular spot for speakers and weddings as well. It's the flowing stairs and people looking up there. So you'll find we do have very many little nooks and crannies that are perfect for small, big, or medium-sized weddings.
Wonderful. It blows my mind the size of these
Crepe
crepe
myrtles?
myrtles.
Oh, when they bloom, when the crepe myrtles bloom, they're all different colors. It'll be a light blue, a green variegated with red. I mean, it's like a fireworks show. That'll be in the fall, but it's again a very beautiful scene to see. We had something called cherry blossoms back here, and they bloom all of 10 days. So people, if you remember, you get the hay blossoms, and they're just white, bright flowers with kind of a pink tinge. But all be done, they only last about 10 days or 2 weeks, and that's about it. Now we're about to enter one of our more featured spots here that is very popular. It's called the Women's Garden, and there are 2 parts of the Women's Garden. Part 1 and part 2, and I'll walk you through that. And they're a little different in nature. The first part of the Women's Garden, which we're entering right now, is everything is horizontal and rectangular, and it's to show the strength of women in our society, the foundation that they provide for our society, and the basis of our society. It goes all the way down to those rectangles down there, which we'll visit soon. But again, everything's at a right angle to show the foundation that women provide in our society. Sometimes there's a small fortune in coins around here, but I sweep them on about every night. But I'm hoping I'll see a silver dollar someday. I'm going to take you on a real quick spin down here just for an overlook into something called the Poetry Garden. This is again part of the Women's Garden, but it's called the Poetry Garden. And we're just going to look over the edge and then walk back out. But something I like to have in my backyard. It's always in full color, and again it's popular because it's about 10 degrees cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. But isn't that a beautiful? Again, the Poetry Garden, another place just to relax and put up your heels and maybe take a nap. But this is alyssum, purple alyssum, and there's white alyssum as well.
My mother used to plant these every year as a border along our garden when I was growing.
Hanging baskets too, they're just really pretty. And this always gets me in the mood to go home and try to create something like this at my home. You know, straight ahead, Greg, also you see the back of the DeGolyer Mansion. Yeah, 21,000 square feet. We're going to go left here. Let's go left here. 21,000 square feet. Mr. DeGolyer was born in the late 1800s and got involved in the oil industry back when no one really realized what oil was. It was like this gooey stuff coming out of the ground in Texas. He discovered oil in Mexico when he was 24 years old. later became president of Amarada Hess and a state geologist. He built this house solely for entertainment value. We're going to get angles on it throughout our walk, but it is truly magnificent.
And there's a restaurant up there,
yes,
correct?
Yes, there is. And also, importantly, is they give tours of the DeGolia mansion with the original Oriental rugs, and he had 85,000 books in his library, which have since been given to SMU. But it's truly monumental. We won't go in there, but everyone should be aware they do give private tours of the DeGolia mansion. I think on the half hours, and they have people called docents who will walk you around and give you the history. But that's something. If you have interest in old classic homes, if you visit the Arboretum, I strongly recommend going to.
Look at this shot, Greg. Look at this beautiful view from here. Guys, you have to.
It used to be an infinity pool. They haven't quite cut the trees like they used to. But when you get the water flowing and the bushes cut, it's an infinity pool. Now, I mentioned the other thing here is rectangular, horizontal that show the foundation of women in our society. After we go under this arch, we'll be in the Women's Garden Part 2, where there's flowing water and curves and more scenery, more scenic. It's to show the caring and nurturing aspect of women in our society. So not only providing the structure in Women's Garden 1, but the beauty and caring of women in our society.
Is this cocoa bean mulch?
Oh no, I'm glad you mentioned that. These are pecan shells, and they are absolutely tremendous. And they are ubiquitous here at the Dallas Arboretum. They're a product of East.
Hang on, guys. Okay, go ahead.
They are a product of East Texas, where there's a pecan industry. We get them in East Texas. They provide a perfect contrast to almost any plant because of their dark color. And also, more importantly, when they finally melt down, they totally enrich in the soil. So it's a win-win-win. Local product, pretty look, and as well as enriching the soil. So we bring them in here by the truckloads, the pecan shells.
I'm giving away where I grew up because I grew up in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they used cocoa bean shells as their mulch.
Oh, God.
Which was great. It smelled like chocolate.
Well, it's genetic. It's endemic. Yeah. This is called the Pulpit, and that's a place for some weddings, I keep saying, but also a place for speakers and book clubs and whatnot. Sitting down here looking up at a speaker. It's also a beautiful place where you can focus on the bride and groom, and you can see up to 300 people here or something like that.
Oh, amazing. So I saw a bunch of honeybees, which is amazing because, as you know, our honeybees are.
Now, you saw them here?
Yeah, back in there. So do you know? Does anyone have hive boxes anywhere near?
Well, we actually, in a very nice way, try to eradicate them because they occasionally they love it here, but they can be dangerous sometimes. So we don't have any hives ourselves. We tend to try to move them if they do appear. But that is.
But you need bees for flowers.
Birds and the bees. Let me tell you. Now we're coming upon here the most popular spot at the Arboretum for kids. These are our koi fish, K-O-I, koi fish. And you'll see some of them are the size of loaves of bread. I was giving a tour to a couple from Japan, and they said, well, we have these in Japan. He said, when they get to be that size, they sell for $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. And they're shiny, and when the light hits them, they're translucent. These guys are hungry.
They love the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, how neat.
The kids, I sometimes have to grab the bell of a kid who's wants to fall in and touch the fishies, but they're very colorful and very pretty.
I wanted to put my finger in their mouth.
I got you. Yeah, they're scavengers. They're looking for breadcrumbs, and no, we discourage that. So we're at the very kind of the tail end. That's all part of the women's garden. Again, showing the fluidity and the caring, nurturing aspects of women. Women's Garden 1 and Women's Garden 2. Go over right here, Greg. We're going to mosey on up to.
And we're just doing a big loop today, guys. So we're obviously not exploring every part of the gardens, but from what
Left,
I was
left.
told, we're doing about a 2.5 mile walk today.
Yeah, and it's funny because you don't realize you're getting a good workout because everything's just so beautiful. The Japanese maples, and we're coming upon a place called a little gazebo called Karen's Gazebo. And I was told when I was a trainee, he said, always remember where that is because they have small weddings there. It's very hard to find. So I said, yeah, okay. Well, sure enough, I was out giving a tour. A guy came with a bow tie. Where's Karen's Gazebo? He was missing his own wedding. So he was in a little bit of trouble, I think. But this again is a very peaceful, restful place. Small receptions and gatherings. We're going to do a hard right turn here. We're going to sorry.
I'm going to run Fitz over.
What we're going to do, we're going to walk down into the Mccaslin Sunken Gardens. It's another one of the feature areas here. It's that goes up to the Geyer house, and they always, I love the bobbing and weaving they do with the hollies, and it's a very pretty place. And again, I'll say it, another very popular place, not only for weddings, but for corporate meetings and receptions and gatherings and family reunions. You can see that the lawns are well maintained. And a fun fact is this is part of the DeGeyer estate. This is where the DeGeyers played croquet. This was the croquet field. Now, someday I'd like to be so successful that I would have my own croquet field. But
right?
You can see how beautiful it is, and that goes right up to the DeGeyer house there. And again, a very pleasant, cool spot
beautiful
for gathering.
It smells amazing in this area.
You can't beat it. Plus the cool breeze. We're gonna mosey up. You want to lead, Greg? You go up those stairs if you would. Mrs. DeGeyer outlived her husband by about 25 years. When she passed away, she left the DeGeyer estate. Endowed it to SMU, Southern Methodist University here in Dallas. The city of Dallas bought it from SMU in 1977, and we're going to go left here. And finally got around to declaring it an arboretum area, and it opened in 1984. So the Dallas Arboretum has been around for 37 years, and in my opinion, it just gets better and better all the time. Mr. DeGeyer loved magnolia trees. Magnolia trees live to be 250 years old. So a lot of these were around when she was still here. And this is called Magnolia Alley. And there's no prettier smell than when the magnolias are blooming. If they're white, it smells like a vanilla ice cream factory. I could just spend a day here the whole time. Go straight away. Mr. DeGeyer loved magnolias. She was very generous, obviously, in helping getting the arboretum going. She also liked, if you go to the DeGeyer house, there's eight-sided frames, eight-sided tables. She liked octets, octagons. Yep. And this is an eight-sided fountain that she commissioned. It's been around here for 120 years. It goes through occasional repairs, but that was the DeGeyer's octagonal fountain. I've been talking a lot about the DeGeyers. And they have 44 acres here, of which we continue to develop. Once we get through this, right here, we're going to be in the Camp family estate. The Camp, Alex Camp was a banker, a real estate guy. His uncle had been governor.
I have to pause you, Fritz.
Right.
What are these? They're beautiful.
I just don't know.
Do you know?
They're plastic.
Let me see.
They sure are.
Those are hydrangeas.
There's some of the bees here going to town.
That's not a hydrangea. They're beautiful.
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
It's
dahlias, maybe? I think they're beautiful as well. Now look at these Japanese maples. Isn't that breathtaking? We are at part of. We cross this line. We're going from the DeGeyer estate to the Camp family estate. It's 22 acres. Again, Mr. Camp was very old Dallas money, active philanthropist. Why don't we move just down a little bit this way? Because you see the colors will start to be coming out on these Japanese maples. This is the Japanese maple rim you want to see.
Yes. I have to admit, this is a little selfish of me because Japanese maples are my favorite tree.
There'll be some that you can come back in a while and they'll be like purple with green and white variegated, every type imaginable. Well, I'm going to walk back up this because I want to show you the oldest Japanese maple we have.
Wonderful.
So, going to lead off here. We'll go up and we'll see more maples up here. But this is called the Japanese maple rim, which is a stream. And again, when they start going in different colors, the red ones are really pretty right now, but there'll be others that are as beautiful. We're going to turn left here. And we're going to walk by soon. We'll look down there from that angle too. But again, this is the Japanese maple rim. 80 different varieties of Japanese maples. I laugh when I say that because I talked to the head horticulturist here, a guy named David Forehand, who's brilliant. And he laughed when I said 80. He said, well, probably more than 80. He said they tend to be quite incestuous. And so
they crossbreed.
Yeah, crossbreed. It's getting a little racy here, but you see what I'm saying? Down here, I just want to show you one thing. There's the oldest Japanese maple. Oops, it's down there. I'm sorry. The oldest Japanese maple. It was a gift from the Japanese ministry for us. We've had it for a number of years.
Oh wow!
Might walk by, but it's these come out very early. Oh, there it is right here. I was going to show you all the oldest Japanese maple here. It's about 120 years old. It's a weeping Japanese maple. Wow. It was a gift from the Japanese embassy. It's up there, that big tree right there. Again, it's weeping, which means it's stunted in its growth. And kids just love to get on that thing and climb, and they kept trying to. They didn't want to put up barbed wire, and they don't have volunteers shooting the wall all day.
Right.
So we did something kind of natural. We got this thorny holly.
We put some holly.
She keeps the kids off the climbing. And then again, it sounds mean, but that's over 125 years old, and a gift from the government of Japan. Kind of neat. Isn't this beautiful? This was all added, all developed when the Arboretum blended the Camp family estate into the Gallia estate. This is over 1,000 tons of rock brought in from I believe Arkansas, and this water flows. You see how the Japanese maple continue down there. There's something very comforting and peaceful, I think, about all the flow of water we see here. It's just a very, very nice place. We are going to be headed now. We're going to walk behind the Camp family estate, and we're going to walk into the Lay family garden here. Very soon. Look at that red. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. So that again, we cover a lot of our bases. That's the Japanese maple rim. We're coming upon here again, 22 acres, the house by the Camp family. And you're about to see a beautiful view of setting up here for a wedding or reception or something. Well, actually, on Thursdays, they have something called Cool Thursday. They have a band come and play down. You'll soon see the area on the left here. See, they're starting to come out here and picnic. They'll have a band, Emerald City, or I think it's a Tom Petty tribute band tonight. But see, people come out here and they lay out their blankets, and they're setting up the music down there, and just come out here on Cool Thursdays. And it's very popular. You come out here with your beer and wine, or your chicken and beer, or cheese and wine. I mean, and you can the social distancing. I bet that's what it is. But you see people. It doesn't start till 7. But people are out here just saying, "I'll take a nap. I gotta grab a good spot and take a nap." Now this is internal stuff here, but right backing up to where this tent is. This is the Camp family estates. The administrative offices are there. That's where our president, Mary Berniger, has her office, and this is where they have a lot of receptions. This is so darn pretty. That's my little summer home across the water there.
That's what we want.
The camera can find. It's just a short swim to the Arboretum.
Right, yeah.
So that's the fun.
How you come here every day.
Yes, it's the Hunt family estate. But in that, it's just such a pretty view, and they're getting ready for a concert tonight, and life could be worse. You know, it's really pretty neat. Now, another one of the areas that you suggested that I want to feature walking into right now. It's the Lay family garden.
Like Frito-Lay.
Exactly, like Herman Lay figured out if you slice potatoes real thin, bake them and put salt on them, and Americans will fall in love with Lay's potato chips. He passed away quite a while ago, but his wife Mimi, we know left here, Greg. His wife Mimi lived quite a ripe old age. She's out here some weekends digging around in the garden. Again, very generous benefactors to Dallas Arboretum, and the Lay family remains very active in its participation. These are geraniums. I got those down. I got those at home.
Radix loves geranium.
Mine don't look nearly that pretty, but this is the good fall point. From here, we're going to walk right back home. So you transcend a lot of kind of hitting some of the hot spots, but you can just see the general beauty. You almost can't go wrong. These pools they'll get crayfish a little later on in the year. And again, the Lays they still get out here every now and then. We're going to take a little left here. This structure is called the Grotto. It's a waterfall. A couple interesting things. I was giving a tour once. Group. I was walking backwards and kind of yapping away, and I saw all the eyes get real big. Here. Oh, these are hydroponia, by the way. Hydroponia. They don't need drink. They just live in the moisture.
Right.
They put a little bit in there, I think. But these are. Yeah, turn left and then we'll loop back and we're headed home.
This is a beautiful area. These waterfalls coming down from the stone structures.
And I've already said this, but all the water used in all the waterfalls and the water wells doesn't just flush down the sewer. It is a real walk by where it's recycled and filtered and reused. Huge emphasis on conservation and preservation here. So they don't just keep it pretty. They're really thinking about our community and our well-being. You know, baby geraniums, I think. I'm go right, Greg. We're gonna exit there. It's sort of a mesmerizing sound. It's just very comforting.
There is something.
And I'll say, hopefully it's be the last time, but this is a very popular spot for weddings. We come here because they get just endless.
I think you should cover it and say the entire garden is a very popular wedding spot. People. There's times of the year on this pergola up here where the wisteria is coming down. It's a big purple cloud, and it's out of season right now. But in the fall, you always catch something blooming. But they're swooping right now. But that's a really pretty thing to see. This is a cool area.
Very nice.
Great.
And the little gatherings again here. So we're going to be headed back down to home base here.
All right. Oh, isn't that a neat tree?
That's a Japanese maple, isn't it? No,
Ew.
that's not. It's I thought it used to be a snowball tree, a Chinese snowball tree with white blooms, but
Well, apparently they're not white anymore.
exactly.
Maybe it got shocked by the cold weather and it went, I'm going to be red.
I got to keep red for the summer. The palm trees here, which we don't want to look at, those took quite a hit. Those got bad treatment from the freeze.
But they're coming back, which is amazing.
Yeah, we know you gotta cross your fingers and hope that they'll return. There's a decent chance they will. You just never know.
Right.
YouTuber.
Anyway, when you get here, you're going to turn right, and we'll be in front of the camp house, and and headed home in about 45 minutes. So we're going to
Yeah, we're good. We are doing great.
turn right here. Oh, on the other side, I should mention there's the Rollie Myers Trollins Adventure Garden down there. That's a kids' learning spot, and it's all for kids hands-on learning about ecology and conservation. It's just 10 acres. I generally don't take people there. There's a lot of kids running around, but it's just really a sight to see, particularly if you have any children visiting you. They lose their minds there. This is the front of the Camp family estate, which we walk behind. This is the Camp family were friends with Greer Garson. Now, you guys remember that name? That's early Hollywood actress Greer Garson, who's from Dallas.
Yeah.
She and her husband, Colonel Betty Fogelson of Dallas, were good friends with the camp. So when he died, Greer Garson had this built. It's the Fogelson Fountain, and it's been here for 95 years. A lot of repair along the way, but it's been around quite a long time. But Colonel Betty Fogelson, that's Dallas. And then you can see right through. Oh, every room in the camp house, there are windows on at least 3 sides. I can't make this stuff up. So any room in there, there'll be windows on at least 3 sides. So you can look through the house, and the camp family realized just how beautiful all the views were and the grounds were, that they want to emphasize windows. So they're probably a little tricky getting out of the shower, but
well, I was thinking for sleep. Hope you love light.
Well, no, I'm sure they had the drapes, but it's a very, very open, windy place. Okay, now we're walking back down to where we started. This is the Lida Bunker Hunt Paseo de Flores. Lida Bunker Hunt was the matriarch of the Hunt family. I think 5 of her kids, when she passed away, built this for the Alabama Expressway for the Dallas Arboretum. At Paseo de Flores is Walkway of Flowers, and there is year-round color here. And all the, you're trying to see here, I said we see the other side of the Japanese maple limb.
Wow.
I don't know if you could count 80 different varieties, but there are probably at least that many.
I smell something good.
We're going straight away here. See the Japanese maples?
Mm-hmm.
Ordinarily, they would have the Arts and Crafts Festival here, but I think that they had to move for some other reason to. I don't know. Look at that! Isn't that pretty?
That is beautiful. I love all the art and all the pictures that are mixed with the garden.
Yeah, they're having some ongoing art exhibits and visiting composers and concerts. Just a pretty face. The Arboretum is very active in having wine tastings, all sorts of make a thing to you. Take a quick easy slide here into the family garden. The White family, again, very generous contributors to the Dallas Arboretum. And should we go on, or are we all right?
We're good.
Okay, good. Again, the weather are white, whether they be tulips, periwinkles, or it's all white. The noise you hear in the background, not noise, the little rumble, this is what I've been telling you about, is every drop of water used at the Arboretum is pumped back up here, cleaned, recirculated, and used again. It's very expensive, but it's very, very appropriate conservation-wise. People just assume, oh, right out there, it just goes away, but all the water is recirculated here. I just stop talking here and just say, listen to that. All right. Emphasis on conservation resources. That's Japanese you, I'll bet, right?
No swimming allowed, Greg.
He's good. He's taking off his shirt, I say.
All right, so we're coming around here. We're getting
real close.
We're getting close to the beginning again.
And we're going to walk by the front of the DeGallier Mansion, which is a sight to behold because you've seen its magnitude from different angles. But again, it's 21,000 square feet of partying space. It's very promising when you see an area like this that they've dug up, because you come back here in a week and there'll just be lush lush gardens there.
How beautiful.
Once again, we're on the Paseo de Flores, the walkway of flowers. The birds are happy. The squirrels are happy. Here's more of this alyssum that I was talking about. That's I'm not very lucky at getting it to grow, but it is very pretty. Now down there, walking down there. That's called the four-toed corner, and lots of toads. Do you want to walk down there? Or?
Sure.
Okay, if we can. Well,
I love this canopy.
Oh.
I've always
Hey,
wanted to
Zoe.
drive one. Yes, Dan.
We need to slow the camera down.
Okay. Hey, Greg. We need to slow camera movement. Just yell at us. So we're not going to go down there, Fritz. We'll just
that'll take like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we allow kids to swim there because we can't keep them out, basically. But the water is chlorinated and healthy.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll just mosey this way. Oh, excuse me. That, when it's not been damaged by the storm, is our rose garden. That's the Rosemary Hagar rose garden, the Hagars and Hagar slacks. And usually it's a mountain of roses, but the roses, like the azaleas, took quite a hit from the Feb freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are snaps.
Snapdragons.
Not snapping for me, but that's what they do. There you go. That's a snapper right there. Snap, snap.
Hang on, guys. We're going to get over there and show you the Snapdragon.
So they're snapdragons. Snap, 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 snap. Geraniums, of course. I know all the easy ones.
Snapdragons were always a favorite when I was a kid because I could play with them like that. I used
That's
to.
until they break off in your hand, right?
I grew up in an area where honeysuckle was rampant,
love
so
that
I used
smell.
to eat the nectar from the honeysuckles.
Oh, is in Hershey, right? Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, up in the Northeast.
I grew up in Connecticut, so I know the Northeast. There will be times like we just got through with our biggest festival of the year, which was Dallas Blooms. We put down over 525,000 bulbs, daffodils, tulips, hyanthus. It's when 60% of our visitors come for our Dallas Blooms celebration. It was usually it's about 2 months of ongoing color, but again, that darn freeze kind of threw everything off, so it lasted maybe 5 or 6 weeks. But I want all your listeners to remember Dallas Blooms. It's end of January to maybe March or April, depending. It's an act of God, when he decides to send all his bulbs up. But that is a very, very pretty time to visit the Dallas Arboretum.
I would think any time is a pretty time to visit the Arboretum.
We're going to get a better shot of the DeGalia house down here at the driveway. But back when they built it, it was completed in 1940. But back then they used to have carriages, take people around, and everything. It was quite the entertainment hub.
So this area to our left is part of the area they're going to be using for artscape.
That's where they always have it. These parts of that, but I think another part over here, we saw those little huts they had here. Greg, you're about to get on your right here. A great shot of the DeGalia mansion. See the awesomeness of it. And then you can picture your people being dropped off for parties. And I think it has 13 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. It's just magnificent inside.
It is beautiful.
Look, the magnolia blossoms are coming out. Oh, no, I can't wait for that. That is a beautiful smell when they come. Oh, I'm going to come back out here often. I always forget when they come, but this is the oldest magnolia at the Dallas Arboretum. It was Mrs. DeGalia's favorite, and I think it's been estimated to be 250 years old. Isn't that amazing? And we already talked about the smell of the magnolia buds, but that's like perfume pretty smell. It's just something else. so many little nooks and crannies just to sit down and grab a sandwich and sit down with your loved ones. Now this is the trial garden. This is kind of like we're going to wrap things up and answer questions.
We're going to mosey our way over there. That'll be our
we get the 45 just about right. Hit 45 just about right.
Perfect. So what I want you to do, guys, is now's the time to start putting some questions into chat for us. We are going to have some time to answer some of your questions. We will definitely do our best. If there's something we can't answer, we will try and get the answer for you later, okay?
Someone will answer, not me. You're going to see Greg's taking a picture here soon of the trial garden. This is something where we stress test plants to see their tolerance to heat. We test over 3,000 plants every year for seed companies to see how they'll stand up. The model of the horticulturists and the master gardeners out here is if we can't kill it, nobody can. And the
I don't know. I might have to argue with that.
Well, seriously, you're going to see plants and people say, "Where can I get that?" Well, that's a trial garden. A lot of these things are not on the market yet because they are being tested here in the Texas heat, and so they different watering patterns and whatnot. Let's just walk right up here, and they change this out so often, but you're going to see colors that you didn't know existed. I always do, and I'm a gardener, but again, some of these. It's a very pretty spot. Again, it's the trial garden of the Dallas Arboretum. And pecan shells, you see?
Yeah. Now, my understanding also is another reason why they use this is if they make it in here, then they will potentially eventually be used out in the main garden, correct?
Yes. Now, you see they don't say that this is the Burgess Seed Company. This is the Knox Seed Company. It's all Trial Garden 6, Trial Garden 8, because they're obviously competing. They don't want to know that they've developed this color, and they don't want people to know that which company it is. So there's a little bit of a secretness to it, but it's all in good stead. Now this is the sunny part. There's a container garden. There's a shade part over there. Get out of here. And they have a container part as well on the other side. But it's a test trial garden too.
So just so you know, Fritz was telling a squirrel to get out of here.
Yes.
I didn't want you to think he was telling us to leave. So he was explaining earlier that squirrels can actually be very destructive of flower beds.
I'm not fond of squirrels. I apologize.
I think they're adorable. I'd take him home with me.
Yeah, okay, put one in your pocket and take them all as far as I'm concerned. And again, these vibrant colors that for the 19th time, I've never seen that before. Well, that's because this is a trials to see if they can take the heat. And for example, they will water that one every day, that one every other day. They do different testing and stressing, and the master gardeners go crazy out here. And I've never seen that richness. These are dianthus, I think. No, Sweet William, but yeah. But I mean, look how vibrant they are. That just is.
These pinks are amazing. If I ran into these in a flower shop or a grocery store, I would think that they were modified, right? I wouldn't think that they were real.
A lot of them are tests. Some of them are probably out there, but the color is just always. You see the variegated purple with yellow with black. It is truly a marvel.
I ran off in the distance, guys, because I saw some of those beautiful velvet red flowers. I was hoping I would be able to find out what they were, but I failed.
Well, I should know a lot of these, but the Johnny jump ups, I remember as a kid, the Johnny jumps they're hard to kill, but
whenever I see flowers like that, it always makes me think of the flowers from Alice in Wonderland and Disney.
Yeah. But
look at
how vibrant
colors. Look at how unique that is.
Blue, yellow, scarlet, and I mean those almost like neon. Those almost glow in the dark color. Anyway, enough of this. This again is a trial garden that it's part of our ongoing educating people, and a focus of the Dallas Arboretum.
Wonderful.
I'm hoping we get some questions.
Let's see what we've got. Let's pull this up here and see if I can So the first question we have is, Dan, are you growing the watermelon for Celebration Magazine's 4th of July picnic?
That's a loaded question.
I couldn't resist. Oh, so we did have someone ask about your mask. So I asked about his, let's move. Hang on, guys. I'm going to get to a better location so you can hear me better. I heard that I cut out there. I'm getting better at this. All right, let's try here. We're good here. Okay. So you told me the story of where you got the mask from.
Yes.
So tell our viewers where you got that mask.
Well, 99% of the time I'll just wear the old. You've seen these. Everyone has these standard cloth ones. I gave a tour last week to a group of hearing disabled visitors, and they realized, as I did, how important them watching your lip movement is to understanding it. I had a microphone; it was very appropriate, and so I just. Plus, I'm so good looking, you know.
That's right. Had to show off your face.
No, it was a nice thought, and I'm wearing the same ones that everyone wears, but nice thought.
So we did have someone ask, do they sell any of the produce or donate any of the produce?
We have trouble with we don't eat here the produce there. We don't eat it. Originally, it was going to be a fruit, herb, vegetable, and wine garden, and I was thinking, well, I'll be there stepping on the grapes and doing
great.
But the city is very particular about, hey, are you a nonprofit organization or are you a restaurant? And there's all sorts. Gets very legal very quickly.
Gotcha.
To make it a long story short, so we do not sell them. We might donate them to some kitchens, but we don't serve it here. We can't pay. We don't sell it to anyone. We donate it occasionally, but it's a matter of the size of the organization and our purpose.
Fantastic. Someone said they're going to come to the art show on Sunday, so that's wonderful. Sure. Janet, I'm going to try and get my husband to do the same.
Right.
So the best place, Janet, to find what events are going on is to go to their website.
DallasArboretum.org.
Yep, so that's going to be the best place. You can also find information about them in our magazine and on our website. And we'll also link to their website when we post this on our YouTube channel. So Christine Taylor asks, are the flowers changed out?
Here or constantly?
Everywhere. Constantly.
In fact, I can't emphasize that enough, that if you came back here in a month, these would all be out in the garden. There'll be new batches, and there'll be summer. And just 3 weeks ago, it was all tulips. So definitely, they're changed out faster than you can. I always hope to catch the latest batch. So that's very, very, very active in that role.
So we did have someone ask how expensive it is to rent an area for a wedding, and what I'm going to say is go to their website. They have a special events section where you'll be able to contact someone for that, and they'll give you that information.
Just to add that again, I'll emphasize again, Dallas Arboretum, .org. And indeed, we can have weddings for 2,000 people or 20 people, catered, uncatered. So there's something for everyone. It's very easy to get in contact with them for estimates.
Right. So I love that our people are answering questions for each other. So someone had asked about if the Arboretum meets ADA standards, and we had someone respond yes. And I was going to add, everywhere we went today, if there were stairs, there was a trail nearby that didn't have stairs.
Correct.
That could lead you to the same location.
And we have free wheelchairs as well. It's first come, first serve, but we have everything. We went up and down steps. There's a way to avoid steps in every part we visited today.
Fantastic. So someone asked about, as we were going through the gardens, you saw all different types of pots, planted pots.
Yeah.
So are they watered by hand every day?
They're watered. I think some probably catch the regular sprinklers, but some have to be. I'm sure they have to be watered by hand. And they have trucks of water that'll do it. It's a variety of means. Hard to tell which way.
Are the tulips finished for the season?
Yes, they definitely are. As I mentioned earlier, but that is just a wonderful time to visit the Dallas Arboretum during the tulip season. 525,000 in like this, all different colors. Next year, I'll mention it again. They start putting them down in November, and they're not real sure when they're going to come up, or if there'll be a big freeze. But I say between the end of January to early March is when you definitely got to make time to come out here.
And while we were walking around, it looked like they are actively planting new plants in those beds now.
Yes, they took the tulips out, and I get often asked, do you put them in the freezer? Do you reuse them? And no, we compost them because we just don't have the storage space to have that many bulbs.
That's a lot of bulbs to store.
And we get them from the Netherlands, and some of them are, again, types you can't buy yet. Just a huge variety of color and types.
All right, we've got a lot of comments about how they love the tour, how beautiful it is. Love fall with all the pumpkins. Oh, all right, how many acres is the Arboretum?
There were two parts that we talked about. The first part was the DeGuyer estate. That's 44 acres. And then we went to the Camp family estate, which was where the Lay family garden was. It's 22 acres. So it's 66 acres. And as we already made allusion to, you come out here and you walk around and have a great time, and you don't realize you're getting a good workout too. So it's a very easy flow. You can we were on the main pass, but there's so many twists and turns you can take. I want to urge you all to come out. I do want to mention that we are open every day of the year from 9 to 5. Every day of the year, 9 to 5, except for 4 days: Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Just the big boys, but 352 days a year, Dallas Arboretum open 9 to 5, and there are always features and arts and crafts things going on, and performances, and you almost can't go wrong.
It is just an amazingly beautiful area. I think Lori, unfortunately, we don't know where we can buy one of those masks from. I know they're I would love it too. People could see me smile.
I saw it as I kept hold of it just for this very reason, because it's
perfect. It's perfect. Well, everyone, Fritz, thank you so much for taking us through today.
My pleasure. If any of you people come on out here, I hope you will. And if I'm here, I'd love to show you around, or you can even call up and say, hey, can Fritz show us around? We have so many tour guides like the function I am, and they all know the place like the back of their hand and can walk you through. It'll enhance your visit.
Well, thank you everyone so much. Thank you again to the Arboretum, the amazing staff, for having us here. I do hope you'll come out and visit soon. I know I will be. So thanks, guys, and everybody have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful weekend.
See you soon.